Hi everyone, and welcome to video 4 of the hood, side panels, and valance. This one is a little bit special to me in the sense that it's the part of this whole process that kind of freaked me out the most, and I actually, moved forward and did it on my own. So I'm pretty proud of this, but I'll show you how I do all the cutting and everything that's going on with this, so you can kind of see how minute these little things we're doing, but the results actually end up being, perfect gaps and things like that. So I hope you enjoy, and please hit the like and subscribe button if you like the channel, and see you at the end. Alright, so this one you can see opens up as we go, and that totally sucks. So the other thing I've noticed is, I started with riv nuts on this stuff, and riv nuts the edge of the riv nut makes this gap bigger, and I'm also not 100% true down here. This could come down a hair. And so that's the first thing we're going to start with, because that's pinned and that's open. So if we drop this down a little bit, that's going to help. And then worst case, we might have to raise the valance to bring this up. Now, the valance, as you can see, they touch each other in the front, and they're supposed to, as far as I know. And so there'll be a gap down there, which of course, no big deal. No one's really looking at that. However, doing stuff by the book, and this is what you get. So how this other side perfectly worked out is literally just a freaking fluke, honestly, because I put those valances on a year ago, 8 months ago, I don't know, long time ago. So, and the car's on jacks and stuff like that, and this whole car is so curvy and stuff, like you can't really use a level in a sense to know where it's going. It's like wherever the radiator is where it's going. So, I'm sure the experts that do this have all sorts of ways around that and probably use a level or a laser and stuff like that, and I get that, but this is probably the most difficult car, I'd say, out of the whole Factory 5 fleet. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with taking that down. I need to get some new bolts and stuff like that. That's going to replace all that. And then we're going to pop some holes in here to screw things in, but I'm not going to do that until I really get this kind of figured out. And hopefully I could do that without getting Greg up here again, and or at least get it temporarily figured out to where I can actually drive it and then say, hey, what do you think? That way I could actually go down to him instead of me always having him come up here, which I know is a pain in the ass for him. So so that's kind of where we're at. I'm going to leave it here for this one, and then, tackle this another day and dig in a little more. So you can see how this was originally put in. So what we're going to do is drill those out, and then that will give us a little bit of wiggle room so we could fine tune and adjust and move this around. and just put some 1/4 20 with some fender washers on there and hopefully get this thing to sink down just a hair more. Alright, so where we last left off is I still had riv nuts inside of here, and what I did is actually remove all those, drill those out, leave the bigger holes, and then just get a 1/4 20 with a nylon nut and a washer. So this is more adjustable and I could get it exactly where I want, yada yada yada. So I've done that with this, and I had the side panel in, and what I really realized is this, see that little line going across there, a silver line? That's basically 7/8 of an inch off of where this needs to be holding that panel and getting this gap correct up here. So, which means all this has to be recut. Now, luckily, if you bring this up, this comes out, and so there is stuff to cut, so that's good. But if I had to do this all over again, and again, never doing this before, didn't really get the procedures exactly right. I mean, obviously I knew that the grill had to be a certain way, and once that grill is in place, never touch it again and make all your arrangements. In fact, if something ever happened to the radiator where I had to remove that, it would be a freaking nightmare to get this all back together. The panels would tell the story of how to get there, but it would be a nightmare because you can't really adjust that while the panels are on the car. So beware, get that, get the hood first. Then the panels are oversized, so you're gonna have to shove the panel up as far as you can to the hood, and keep in mind that the belt line is trimmed. There used to be, I don't know, an extra inch maybe hanging off of this. That is trimmed off. That was suggested from one of the custom guys at the factory. And so that gets removed. Then you're gonna wanna get your panel as high as possible, then try to figure out how to cut it in just so it gets into the gap, if you will, but don't put gaps into it yet because you got some play you need. Then from there, you know where this is gonna be because the belt line has to match, but you don't know where that's gonna be. Then from there, bring this up to figure out where your gapping is gonna be between the height of the hood and the valance, and bring the valance up. So that's essentially what I'm doing now, except I already have holes in the front. So I might have to fill one hole. The other ones will probably get cut off because there's enough meat there that once I trim it, it's gonna work. I'm not sure, because this is already cut in on the side panel, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough meat to really do what I need to do to get this to fit right. But that all being said, you know, I was talking to my buddy Greg, and I'm like, hey man, he's like, yeah, you know, work on this and let me know how it goes and all that. And I'm like, he's leaving during the most important part where I have to make decisions and possibly poke holes to, like, you know, actually secure this thing in place. And I was a little freaked out by that, but I'm putting on my big pants today and I'm going to try to do it, do what I can. But I think I really have a nice understanding of what's going on now, and I know I could do this, and that's the first thing that needs to be done. So I'm going to tackle that, and then we're going to get the side panel in, and we're just going to see where it goes. If I could get that to work, then I'll keep doing it. If I could get it to work, but we're going to have to add some more fiberglass back to it, so be it. It is what it is. You know, whatever it takes to get there, I just need to move forward. So that's what's going on today, and we're going to try to recut this thing. The other thing I'll say is I'm doing this by myself, and yes, you might be able to get away with some clamps and stuff to hold things in place or whatever, but the reality is this is really a two-person job. It will take a one-person 4-hour job and turning it into 30 minutes with 2 people. It's like that big of a difference. And so, and you know, you have all these frame, and you just can't get your hands in here, which means you can't get a clamp in here, and it's really difficult. So if you could have two or even a third person, you know, one person there, and you're doing all the line drawing and all that stuff, it's going to make your life way, way easier. So, yeah, so that's about it. I'm going to hop to it. Come over here.
Yeah.
This line
Uh-huh.
right there,
Yeah.
this needs to be held
Okay.
to where, right there. See,
Yeah.
like this line is crossing it right where that dot is.
Right. All right.
You want me to push it in for you too?
No, because the clamp will break, so I think right about there, Bob, but
Okay.
maybe a hair higher. Right there.
Okay.
Okay, just give me 1 second.
So you gotta mark this.
Yeah, there's no way to do this by yourself.
Yeah.
It's impossible. But I'm taking assumptions here because I can't see where the chrome is behind this.
Oh yeah.
So, and I don't want to cut the top.
Yeah. Right.
Get right up there.
I think it's right there. Uh-huh. That would get you close right here.
Get me closer. Let me go just a hair more. Hair, maybe like that.
Mm-hmm.
How does that seem?
Yeah.
Okay, we can just let it settle. Yeah, this is really a two-person job because I can't slide this out with the box there.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like this the whole time trying to figure out what I can do, you know? So,
Hey, you just call us anytime.
Grow octopus arms.
Yeah.
We'll be back in about
Dude.
3 hours. You just stay right there.
yeah. Bob, come. Help me.
Help, see some help.
Have fun.
All right,
Thank you.
welcome.
So this process has been kind of funny because I'll get to a point and then I'll give up, like, oh man, I can't do this by myself, it's impossible. And then I stare at the car for 20 minutes, and then I give it another shot, and then I have some kind of breakthrough, and then I hit a wall and I go, man, this is impossible. I can't do this by myself. And then I stare at the car for 20 minutes, and then I give it another shot, and so this cycle just keeps going on and on and on. So what I'm doing now is I think I have the Valence in its best spot, and we gotta take just a hair off there and a hair off there because we have actually shifted the panel this way, and so gotta take the fat off of each side. So we're gonna see if we can do that. we got a nice gap going across. And we got this nice gap coming in. It's going good. Might need a little filler on the Valence, but nice gap coming up, matches up. And I think we have achieved nirvana here. I don't even know how the other side's doing. Nice gap there. I need to add a little fiberglass there. Good gap there. This is a little tighter gap. Might open that up just a hair. But otherwise, pretty nice. So I think the next thing I want to do, I'm not sure. I should probably put some bolts in there. But we also want to look at putting in the headlights. And then after that, you know, maybe one or two of these going into each other. And we're pretty good. So it's kind of shocking, actually. I was like, this is going to drag on for 3 weeks. And it didn't. I'm not saying it's perfect. Now, here's one of the things that led this to actually happening well. Is you're trying to match the belt line from the body to the car. And when you do that, the hood is actually too high up here. So, you know, and you don't really want to have the hood like full filler up there. That doesn't make sense. So, I don't know, man. I didn't make the molds for this. So, I'm doing what I can do, and then I take it to the expert, and he says, yeah, this sucks. Let's shave this down or whatever, but at least I'm getting it 95% of the way. 95% of the way I would do it. We'll put it that way. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I think it's looking good. I think the next thing is figure out where we're bolting some of this and then make it happen. All right, so we got a nice hole for the headlights. That one's nicer. This one's a little bigger, but it's gonna be fine. There's a nice 2-inch round cover. You can see there, 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So it should be good. Yeah, that's almost impossible to find where that hole is because what I found was a little piece of metal that I could shove in the hole to get me close and then mark it. And of course, it's within a 1/4 inch. And then I just dremeled it out. That's the easiest way. Start a hole, figure out where you're at, and then mark it and dremel it. So what that means is I could probably finalize this panel and screw down. The other problem is this side, since I have the air conditioning, there's so many pipes and different things going on here that, and then you got the mount here that, can you see it? It's hard to see, but right there. So you just can't really screw anywhere in. There's only a few spots that you could do it, and so I'm gonna have to figure out if there's something that makes sense to do on this side. It'd be really nice to get one in here, but again, the pipes and everything are right in that area. So, you know, maybe it's the headlamp only that's holding this side. And then, you know, screw in a few other parts. So we will see.